Shalom. Oh, just going live. I literally just got in the house. Sorry, just give me a couple minutes, Emma Roslyn. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Pam, I just sent you the link to your email. Shalom. Just give me a second, you guys. Just give me 1 second. I think we're live. Yep, we're live. Okay, just give me one. Okay. Give people a few minutes to come in. Lisa E, shalom, sis. Long time no see. Okay, I did that. Sure, just give me a second. Yeah. Come on in the room, y'all. This is going to be fun. All right. Okay. Pamela, good to see you too, sis. I miss you. You just ghosted me, but I'm not going to beef with you live, but you still my boo. Pamela, I sent you the link. Yep, I do. We need Dr. Pam on here. Paging Dr. Pam. Come in, Dr. Pam. Sorry, y'all. Okay. I'm glad you're doing well, Lisa. Lisa. I'm so glad you're doing well. Miss you all. Y'all, it's hot in here. I literally just got in the door. Okay, Pam, that's fine. Just give me a few minutes, y'all. Pam is setting up. I had some crazy stuff going on at one of my properties, and so it put me behind on time. But we still got to make it do what it do. But I had to call the police on somebody, a tenant trying to be slick about a break-in. It was just a crazy day. But yeah, it's good, and we made it through it. Okay. So I'm just waiting for Pam to get on, and then we can get started. I know a few people are going to be jumping in. And we're just going to have some fun tonight talking about natural remedies. I think I have everything I need. Emma Roslyn, how you doing? Lisa, oh my gosh, I'm so mad. I was almost coming out there to see you. But once the plans changed, I probably should have came anyway to visit everybody. That would have been nice, but sometime this summer will be good. Hopefully. I'm glad you're well, Emma Roslyn. My little jet setting Emma. Is that Kia? Let me see. I think it is. Hold on. It's kind of hard to see from the StreamYard side. I want to wait for a few people to come in, just so I don't have to start all over again. But shalom, baby girl, shalom. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. I know, Lisa, I should. I really want to. I was excited. I couldn't believe how cheap the airfare was cheap, and the Airbnb. I found a beautiful Airbnb. You know, I'll pray about it because that would be a wonderful little trip. And then I would finally be able to see you all. That would be fun. That would be a whole lot of fun. And you all got to come see me too. Okay, so as soon as Pam gets on, y'all, I'm going to get started. And shalom to everybody watching. If y'all could be so kind, hit the like button for me. Shalom, Milan. Shalom, sis. Salama, salama. Shalom. How you doing, Milan? Okay, there she is. There she is. Hey, darling.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
You know what? How long? I don't know why I didn't ask you earlier today to jump on. I kind of feel like I told you I was going to ask you, so that's why I don't think you're super blindsided. Shalom, Chastity, Salama, sis. So yeah, I just wanted to. I'm trying to figure out how I can do this where people can see. I think I'm just going to have to hold it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get started because people, when people come in, if they miss some of it, they can always go back and watch the recording, which I think will be cool. We still, we need a name for this ministry. This part of, I know it's Aruka at the Well. It's under the umbrella of Aruka. Let me see if I can change something really quick, Pam. Hold on. Okay. I know it's under the umbrella of Aruka, but I want to give it a name. So if y'all have any suggestions, let me know. I think Leah, she had one and she put it in the chat on Sunday, and child, I forgot. So you know how that goes. Yeah. So I want your I need your professional opinion
Okay.
on what we're doing. And I was gonna pull you into this. You knew it. Don't act surprised. But my sis is she's an expert in plants since she's a scientist and all. You might as well just go on and let it be out there because it's out there. So just go on and go with it. Your husband outed you worse than I ever did.
This is true.
It was great. He's like, I don't care, and you gotta submit to your husband. What can you do?
Right.
So I was going to tell you. Okay, so you know what? We're just going to get started. So everybody that's in the group on the Zoom calls that we were talking about natural healing because a lot of us don't trust modern day medicine anymore. And just disclosure, we are not. Well, I can't say we're not doctors because one of us is, but we still have to give a little bit of a disclaimer because we are just making suggestions and providing information. This is a fair use commentary where we're just discussing the medicinal benefits. We are not prescribing and we are not telling you to stop your medicine or anything of the sort, but we're just discussing natural remedies. Do your research after this, just like we had to do our own. And if you decide you want to do something natural in place of the medication you're taking, do research. You consult your physician, but take control over your own business and your own body because you can't just If you've been taking medication for years and years, you can't just stop it cold like that. You have to gradually remove it if you so choose. This platform is not to tell you what to do. This platform is not to tell you how to regulate your body, but this is just a suggestion of how we can heal alternatively. And that's what I believe Yah wants us to learn how to do. Um, so hold on, you guys. Pam, can you bust down the chat and greet people?
Yes,
So tonight we are going to make a tincture. And first I want to tell you the difference, and you can correct me if you're wrong, since you know you're the scientist. It's going to come up a lot just because I can do that. But we're going to talk about first the difference, because what I want to do is I love using tinctures. They're tinctures to me are beneficial, and you can use them for anxiety, you can use them for immune building, you can use them for to fight certain diseases. I'm not going to necessarily tell you that you should, but there are other options. And so what I want to do is I want to I'm sorry, Imabula is texting me. And so I gotta stop for my girl. All right. So KW D'Angelo, Chastity, Milan, Lisa E, Kia, and Ema Roslyn. Shalom, shalom, and welcome. Okay, so I want to go back to the difference between a tincture and an extract. And it's easy. A tincture is made when you take herbs and you mix them with alcohol, 80 proof of white alcohol, specifically like an organic vodka, 80 proof or higher. And okay. And so then what it does is you mix it, and we'll go through the whole process, and the alcohol draws out the medicinal properties in the echinacea or in whatever herb. We're doing echinacea tonight. Then an extract, you're either using vinegar or glycerin. And what else, Pam? You're muted, honey.
I've just known just vinegar or glycerin.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You good.
Okay. A lot of times people use the glycerin or the vinegar for children, so that, some people might be a little sensitive about them giving them tinctures with alcohol. So they'll use glycerin or the vinegar, and that's called an extract. So, but it doesn't have a long shelf life as the same as a tincture would. And so personally, I prefer the tinctures because they have a longer shelf life. So first, what I want to do is I want to talk about, so we know the difference now between tinctures and extracts. Now I want to talk about the benefits of echinacea. And this is not an exhaustive list. These are just a few benefits and that you can get from using echinacea. So echinacea is a North American cone flower that was discovered and used as a traditional herbal remedy for more than 400 years by Great Plains Indian tribes. Technically classified as an herb, several species of echinacea plant, and there are a bunch of different species, are used to make medicine from its flowers, leaves, and roots. Pam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the closer you get to the root, the more benefit that you get from that herb or that plant. Is that true or is that false?
It really depends on. Am I still?
Oh, Elephant Man, no, you're unmuted now, but you don't have to mute. Elephant Man podcast said you can infuse with oil, but that's a little different than extracting, right?
That's more of an infusion.
Mm-hmm.
And well, an extract and an infusion are similar. They're the same in some aspects. So yeah.
What's the difference, Dr. Pam?
Well, an extract, so an infusion would be you're taking some of that herb, or mostly it's leaves for the most part, or flowers sometimes, but mostly it's leaves. And what you're allowing, you're putting it in the oil, and what the oil does is that it allows for the breakdown of the cell walls, and then the oils from the actual leaves get pulled out of, like oil pulling. Have you ever heard of oil pulling with coconut oil? It's kind
Uh-huh,
of
uh-huh.
similar in the sense that the oil pulls out the actual oils from the leaves itself, and it infuses into the olive oil or whatever carrier oil that you're wanting to use.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, an extract you can still use oil, or sometimes you can also use um, like the other ones with the vinegar or those types of things. And
Mm-hmm.
it really depends on how and the length of time that you're using it for. So an
Mm-hmm.
infusion, and it doesn't have to last as long as a as an extract, but they're similar. They're similar. There's
Okay.
not too much difference between the two.
So it's really based on shelf life between the tincture and the extract and the infusion, right? And the one
Hmm.
with the tincture has the longest shelf life.
Hmm.
Okay. So, all right. My bad, Kia. I mean, Kaya. See, now I'm calling you Kia. My bad. So, all right. So to
So
continue,
so
yeah, jump in,
oh,
jump in.
so extracts are usually just more highly it's the concentration. So an infusion in a you can have olive oil that's infused with rosemary, but it's not as concentrated as an extraction is. So,
So do you feel
but go
like
ahead.
the we use olive oil that it's kind of like I compare it to like your hair shaft. So there's certain oils that are too heavy or too thick to penetrate the hair shaft, but they can coat the top. Or is it still able to extrapolate even though it's heavy? Am I asking that correctly?
Mm,
In other words, is olive oil, for example, I know you can infuse with it, but is it too heavy to pull out as much as alcohol or vinegar would?
yes. So
Okay.
yeah, because and it would probably take longer too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but and it you just won't get as much out as you did like if you did it with an alcohol or like a vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so like I said, if you're using water, vinegar, glycerin, um, other than alcohol, then that's just an extract, as opposed
Okay.
to if you're using an um, alcohol itself as a
Mm-hmm. Okay.
solvent. Hmm.
Okay. We miss you, Imabula. You know, we miss you a lot. I haven't seen you in a while. And so, you and I need to have one of our little chats. But it's good to have you on here. Good to see you, my love. Okay. So, and again, while I'm reading this, jump in, add anything you want to, because I'm going to rely on the expertise. That's you. So, most people don't realize that the chemicals contained in the root differ significantly than those in the upper part of the plant. If we analyze the root of the purple coneflower, we can see that they have high concentrations of volatile oils, while the parts that grow above the soil tend to contain more polysaccharides that are known to trigger immune function. Please break that down, Pamela.
you you asking
What
a
is
lot.
that? Polysaccharides? Am I saying that right? Polysaccharides?
Polysaccharides, yes, yes. So a
Don't act
poly,
like you don't know what
you
that
want to know
word
what
is.
a polysaccharide is? Well, I know
Yes.
it's a carbohydrate. It's just a form of a
Oh,
carbohydrate, like starch,
okay.
cellulose. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's the cell walls of whatever of the leaves or
Uh-huh.
roots or whatever which one you choose to use. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and so All right, let me read this next paragraph. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it is interesting. Many of echinacea's chemical constituents are, in fact, powerful immunity stimulators and can provide a significant therapeutic value, which is why the plant is often used for treating the common cold. A few echinacea constituents that you're probably familiar with are essential oils, flavonoids, inulin, polysaccharides, or vitamin C. Okay, Pam, what is a flavonoid and an inulin?
A flavonoid is like it's like an oil. It's oil based. Um, let's see. Um, so it's like a phenol. Okay, we're gonna get into some serious chemistry with this thing.
That's good.
um, and so it's really um, a flavonoid is usually it helps plants that gives them the ability to defend themselves against attack from diseases. So it is it can be oil based, like mini phenol. So a phenol is kind of is essentially what it is, and it's a fat soluble type situation. So
Okay. Okay. I guess I have to accept that for now. Okay.
mhm.
Um,
It's been a while since I've had a chemistry class. Oh,
I know. So there's good benefits from echinacea for the kidneys, immunity, and respiratory system. Health benefits. Health, again, this is fair use. I'm reading from one of the sources that I found, and anybody can Google and find this research. Helps combat cancer. Fascinating research about echinacea benefits regarding brain cancers has been published by National Institute of Health. Researchers state that the medicinal value of phytochemicals contained in echinacea is clearly evident and indicates that these are agents as well as phytochemicals not yet discovered in other herbs may be valuable tools to combat tumors. It boosts immune systems. It can reduce the chances of catching a common cold by 58%. Alleviates pain in the bowels, pain associated with headaches, pain associated with HSV or herpes, pain associated with gonorrhea, pain associated with measles, snake bites, sore throats, stomach aches, tonsillitis, and toothaches. Functions as a laxative. Like many herbs, echinacea is particularly healing for the stomach and the entire gastrointestinal tract. Wow, that's powerful. It acts as an anti-inflammatory agent, helps treat skin problems, as well as include improving skin hydration and reducing wrinkles. And it shows that using skin products containing the plant's extract may help to boost skin health. Helps improve mental health, including ADD and ADHD, according to what I'm reading on here, anxiety, depression, and social phobias, relieves upper respiratory issues like acute sinusitis, all flus, asthma, common cold, croup, diphtheria, inflammation, strep throat, tuberculosis, and whooping cough. Fights infections such as bloodstream infections, genital herpes, gum disease, malaria, syphilis, typhoid, urinary tract infections, vaginal yeast infections. So, I prefer my daughter and I. We have this ongoing kind of. It does. Oh, I forgot, Pam. I wish there was a way to make you a co-host so that I could show people what they're saying. I forgot. Um, and I agree. And I take it. I take it with vitamin C. And so I put it in my tea for my throat always. See, now that one is new to me. I didn't, a lot of these I'm learning because I use it to boost my immune system mostly. Um, and I'll take that with like 1,000 or 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. If I feel one little twinge coming on, it knocks it out. Or it cuts the time of the cold in half. or if you have anything else going on. I know that it cuts it in half as well. So I know that there are different types of echinacea, and this is what I have. These are herbs that I got, and it's probably better to store. Pam, what's a better way to store these? I did have them in a dark place, but is there a
Mhm.
better way to store these?
It's always a great idea to store any of your herbs in something that's glass. So if you have like a glass container with and it doesn't matter what lid you put on there, um, but at least storing it in a glass container is helpful. It just
Hmm.
it keeps the oils intact. Um, and they just have a better shelf life. And none of the oils in the leaves will interact with the plastic. It's okay if you're shipping those things in plastic, but after a while, it's good to move them to glass containers eventually, um, so that the oils don't end up seeping through the plastic, and then you're getting mixtures of oils across your
Hmm.
bags.
Okay. Okay. So we can get right into it. So I've got a glass container here, and then you have to have. I really would suggest anything 80 proof or higher, and you're supposed to use like a white vodka, right? Like a white alcohol.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And
Hmm.
it really is good to use organic if you can. If you
Hmm.
can't, I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker for it. But I'm just gonna. I know you can't see. What do I do, Pam? Lower this. Let me see.
Yeah, you're gonna
There
have
you
to lower it to your table.
go. Okay. So sorry for my midsection, y'all. But so I'm gonna. Should I? I'm just gonna use this much, and then we'll put the rest in the glass jar, like Pam said. So then,
Hmm.
what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the vodka and you're gonna cut, like, how like you cook rice. You're supposed to, and Pam, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I understand is you're supposed to put the vodka in until it covers the top of the leaves, and then you like press them down a little bit
Hmm.
and shake them. I'm gonna get. Let me grab a chopstick so I can press them down. And Pam, anything I'm missing? Any steps so far?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
It's really simple to make tinctures, to put them
Yeah.
together. They're really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
So what I'm doing is kind of just getting it mixed up in there really good. And
hmm.
the herbs are already absorbing the alcohol. And so so then I'm going to add more vodka to it. Can you guys see that? Where it was a little bit over, like it was over it. And it kind of still is, but I'm going to add just a little bit more because the herbs are going to absorb that alcohol. And then all you do is you cover it, you put it in a dark place for 4 to 6 weeks. Should I add more?
Let's see. I think it's okay. It'll just be
Okay,
really concentrated.
which I want. I'm
Put,
just
put a
gonna.
little bit. Yeah, just
Okay,
put just a little bit more. Because usually it's like a 1 to 2. I mean, if you want to really concentrate it, like 1 to 2, like one part of the herbs to 2 parts of the vodka.
okay. Well, I'm gonna start, and then you tell me what you think. Because what I understand, because I like to try to do a lot of research on these things before I share them. But
Hmm.
what I understand is it's really important to try to incorporate that vodka into these leaves and stir it really, really well.
Yes. Hmm.
And then how does that look? Should I add let me show you how much I have left.
Okay, that's good. No, that's fine. What you have in
Just
there.
leave it.
Hmm.
Okay. And then you cover it with a good seal. uh, I don't have a mason jar, but I think this will work. Give it a good
Yeah.
shake. And then see how the herbs are sucking it up fairly quickly. And then um, what you can do, and then you put it in a dark place for 4 to 6 weeks. And you go in like maybe once a week or every couple of days, and you just shake it up. And if you need to add more vodka, like if there's more, if it looks like it's drying out or the herbs are getting a little spongy, then you add more vodka to it and you put it back in a dark place. Then you get a funnel, and it's important. This is very important to get amber bottles, and make sure you clean them out really well first. And then and you can get. I save my tincture bottles from when I use old tinctures. I just try to rinse them really well, and then I even bought a label maker. So what I'm going to do is when it's time in 4 to 6 weeks, that when it's time to oh, and you know what else you're supposed to do? You're supposed to get like just mark it with the date so that you know when it's time to start to add the tincture. And what we're going to do is when we make our next tincture, I'm going to show you what we're going to do to get into the amber bottle, which is also easy. But that's it, y'all. We just made our first tincture. And
Yay.
typically I've spent about 12 to $15 on my drops, and it's like 2 ounces. This bottle of vodka was probably about $15. And then this was, I think, $4 for that big old bag. And I'm gonna put it in glass though. I'll put the rest in glass because I don't want to lose the quality of the herb. But so now what I'm gonna do is when we come back, and it's gonna be our next session probably, that because we're gonna do this once a month. I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna strain it. All you do is you strain it into your you strain it over like a funnel, and then let that you can strain it into a jar first, right?
If you have one of those mesh, um, what are those things called? You know, when your pasta strainers,
Strainer?
those mesh
Yeah.
ones, you
Yeah, I
can
have
use
one.
that.
I have a small one.
You can use that and strain it and go directly into a clean bottle. Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to.
Okay. And then we're going to strain it into another jar, and then make sure we try to get as many of the leaves out of it as possible. And then you can't reuse those leaves again, correct? Or can you do more?
Um,
Or just like let or would I add
it won't
this
be.
to that, or just start all like
I would. Yeah, you can also use cheesecloth as well, tincture.
okay.
Um,
I have both.
but you can. It won't be as potent. It won't be as potent, but you can. It depends on what it is. I think for
Mhm.
some, I've known some people to reuse it for certain things. Most of them were um, root pieces, especially if they're very woody. Um, but it's not as potent as that first
Okay.
one. So
And go ahead.
I would lean toward just getting and starting a new batch.
So look,
That's
now, since we've been sitting here, you see how the herb. Let me go this way. The herb is actually. I don't know if you can see it, but it's absorbing the vodka so much that the herbs kind of some of it is sitting on top of the vodka. So like when you shake it, you see that? Can you wait? Hold on. I have to do everything. You see that? How it's kind of like after I shake it. Let me try again. There. I have to do it backwards. Nope, I missed it. Yeah, but okay, it went back down. So it'll go down, but it's absorbing. And the
mhm.
alcohol is good because it breaks into the leaf and it extrapolates all those medicinal purposes. And echinacea does not taste that bad. When we get into oregano oil, it's terrible. It tastes terrible, but the benefits might be more powerful than echinacea. Would you say so?
Yeah.
You're more a proponent of oregano oil, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Why?
Um, just because it has a lot of, it has more a lot of some really good um, properties to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
really good for your bronchioles. It opens up your bronchioles. It's also antibacterial. I think it's antiviral, but I cannot remember. It's good for
Mm-hmm.
inflammation. It reduces inflammation. It does a lot. It does a lot. Um, and I like it for that.
Yeah.
A lot of the
It's
things that echinacea does, but on in addition to, I think it's just it's more. I don't know if it's more potent or if it's more powerful or works different pathways or something
mhm,
to. But I like it. I like both of them. So one thing with echinacea is that some people may be allergic to that. So you always should always check for any of these herbs to
mhm,
ensure that first of all that you don't have any allergies to these things. So
mhm.
um and if you do, then you always uh, consult your physician. Make sure you know what your if you know what they are, then obviously you're not going to make a tincture to something that you're allergic to. So
Mhm. And you also have to make sure they don't counteract with anything else you're taking, or especially medication,
exactly.
because
Hmm.
people make that mistake. Herbs can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So make sure
Hmm.
you do your research to make sure they're not counteracting medication.
Right.
Um, and a healthier lifestyle, what I've learned about taking these herbs, a healthier lifestyle where your colon is not all jammed up, the tinctures work even if I'm not eating the way I should sometimes, which I've gotten a lot better, but they work faster when your body is healthier. That I understand, and it goes through your bloodstream faster, and we want that. And so this is I don't know if you have anything to add, but I'm kind of done. We're going to make these
No.
fast and sweet. And then in 6 weeks, I'm going to label this. We're going to go live again. You see what I mean? What it does? Darn it. Okay, let me see. I can't. Let me see if I can. I'm going to shake it, and then I'm going to take the lid off so you can see what it does. I don't want to spill it. Let me bring it forward. Hold on. See how? Dang it. You
There you
see
go.
how some of it's
Right
not
there.
covered? Dang it. I can't do this backwards. All right, there you go. You see how
Yes,
some
right
of it's
there.
not covered? So that's when you're going to go back in. And I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it again, Pam. Let me show you what it's doing. Let me try again. It's so confusing because I have to do it backwards. There we go. So you see how some of that's not covered, and not just because I'm leaning it in,
Hmm.
but when I put it back, it's still like there's still some that's not sitting in the liquid, and you want it to sit in the liquid. Otherwise, the
Hmm.
herbs dry out, and then you don't get the benefit. So you want
Hmm.
this to always be, you want the herb to always be down into the liquid.
Hmm.
And then the next live that we have, I'm going to strain it in front of everybody, so you see how to do it. That's simple. You strain it into a bowl or another jar, and then you get a funnel, and you put it on top of your tincture bottle, and that's it. And then I kind of overdo it a little bit, but everybody has to be careful. I always think you should start out a little, follow the directions on the tincture bottles, and it typically tells you to have no more than 2 drops a couple times a day. But I'll do like 2.5. I fight the crap out of anything that's trying to attack my body, and so I'll do a little bit more, but that's based on my tolerance though. Everybody's going to be, their tolerance is going to be different. So please don't say you told me to take this much and it made me sick. And if you feel like it's upsetting your stomach, or if it's always best to look at some of the side effects for these herbs. I've never had any issues with, I've never had any side effects or any adverse reactions from taking echinacea, and I've been taking it for a long, long time. So, and you can also freeze dry the echinacea herb, grind it up, and then you can buy vegan capsules, and you can make your own pills if you don't like the drops. But this, to me, is the most potent way to take it. What do you think?
Yeah, they definitely will work faster than a pill. It takes and then it doesn't have to necessarily fight um with the acids in your gut per se.
Mm-hmm.
Um um well, as far as absorption is concerned. If you're taking the tincture, it just works faster. It absorbs into your system faster than if you take it in a pill form, because now it has to sit in your gut, and then your gut has to break down the outer part of the capsule, and then it has to break down the herb itself. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
depending on um your gut flora or just your system in general, your body may not necessarily, the absorption may not necessarily be as potent as, it won't be as potent as a tincture, just depending.
Okay. Yeah, and that's another reason why I love tinctures, because it does go through your system faster. So we're going
Hmm.
to do things like, for anybody that's dealing with sleep deprivation or sleep issues, we're going to do a tincture with passion flower. There's a ton of them that I want to do. Um, and we're always going to talk about the benefits and, maybe I should, do you think I should discuss some of the side effects?
If you like.
You know, some of them?
No, I just know that for some people have allergies to echinacea, and it may cause them to have a rash or um, um, that's the biggest one that I've known, is that people end up with a rash.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm reading something, and do your own research, because sometimes this is what I've learned, that certain industries and certain companies, they want to discourage you to use them, so they'll put all these scare tactics out there. So make sure you do your own research and just try it for yourself. But the most common side effects are digestive tract symptoms such as nausea or stomach pain. Some people have allergic reactions to echinacea, which may be severe. And so then you have people with TB, leukemia, diabetes, connective tissue disorders, MS, HIV or AIDS, any autoimmune disease, or possibly liver disorders should not take echinacea. There is some concern, listen to this, that echinacea may reduce the effectiveness of medications that suppress the immune system. It may or it may not. Do your own research. We have to take control over our own bodies. And if you listen, this is not a knock against anybody that goes to the doctors, against anybody that takes medication. It's your business, it's your choice. But it's important when you walk into the doctor's office to know your body, to know what's going on. Like, okay, for example, I had severe pain on my left side. I went to the doctor and I said, I told them, so they did a sonogram. They're like, oh, you have gallstones. And I'm like, but that's on my right side. Oh, we don't know what it is. But I just paid you a copay and I came to you because that's why they say they're practicing medicine. And I'm telling you what I know. The most effective way to learn your body is through prayer. Because I promise you, every time something has gone on with my body, Yah has led me to what's going on. And then from there, I know how to do my own research. Like I had my lymph nodes on both sides were swollen. I have huge tonsils because I would get infections a lot as a child, and that my mother never had them. She never took me back to have them taken out. So now as an adult, every physician is like, do not get your tonsils out at this age, because the older you get, the more painful it is. And I've heard that a lot. So I noticed that my lymph nodes or my glands were super swollen. And I went to the doctors and they're like, oh, you have an ingrown hair. I'm like, on both sides? What are the chances? So the first thing I did was I started to look it up for myself. And it was because I was doing oil pulling. And there's like a tube that's like connected here into your lymph nodes, and the oil from the coconut oil was clogging it. And I wasn't, so if you're doing oil pulling, drink some hot water with it just to kind of dissolve if it gets caught up. And as soon as I did that, and then I did take something to cleanse, because I know my uncle's wife, she's had surgery like 2 or 3 times on her lymph nodes. And there are natural remedies to extrapolate what's in those lymph nodes that's causing them to swell. Do your own research. So, what do you want to add to that, Pam?
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
Just,
Well,
just advocate for you have to make sure that you're advocating for yourself with when it comes to your health. Don't just assume that the doctors are doing that for you nine times, a lot of the time, at least for us. Um, that is not the case. And so there is such thing as medical apartheid. It still exists today
What is that?
in our medical apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
It is where we just don't get the same um, treatment or the same acknowledgement of our symptoms as other folks. So we will. So when we're in pain, if we're trying to tell someone in pain we're in pain, sometimes that doesn't they don't believe us
Mm-hmm.
when we're saying those things, or we
Mm-hmm.
know what we're feeling in our body and we're trying to explain those things, and it gets pushed to the side. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to make sure that you're advocating for yourself, um, because a lot of the times the medical industry um, does not do a very good job of that for us. So,
My sis is super shy, but she's super brilliant, and that's why I have her on the call. But she's an introvert, and I'm an extrovert. I don't know why y'all does what he does, but he did it. So, yeah, and I fully agree with that, and I appreciate that because oh, and you know what I was thinking too, that when it comes to medication, pharmakia, the side effects, like sometimes there's psychotic side effects. That sounds like demons to me. That doesn't sound right to me. Or, oh, you may have an extra lump grow out the side of your head, but you can use it as a coffee rest. It's not a big deal. No, we shouldn't. Our bodies are saying this isn't right. And so we have to go back to nature. And I mean, you're an excellent example. And I don't know if you want to share any of your story and what you decided to do to take control of your health. If you don't want to, it's okay. But if you do, no, you good? Okay, you don't have to.
not
Another time, another time. That's fine. But your hair looks cute though. But
oh,
it's
thank you. Fussy.
yeah, yeah. It's but I mean, it's important to know. I think because I kind of came in at a certain part of your journey where there were certain things that you had to do. And I said, Pam, we got to pray for this because I don't like this for you. I don't want this for
Hmm.
you. And yeah, moved. And
Hmm.
so, I'm watching your journey from that point of when you were in a certain place of medications and things like that to yeah, removing those things. And so I praise you out for that. I'm not going to go into your business. That's your story to tell. Medical apartheid is simply let's kill the Negro through adverse health scare treatment to achieve Psalm 83. But here's the thing,
Hmm.
and if we go through the scriptures, we are able to see they can't. But if we succumb and we agree to what they're saying, now look, if you go get a broken arm, be wise. I pray you do not have get that doesn't happen to you. But if it does, be wise. Go get it looked at. Go get an X-ray. But I mean, we
Absolutely.
can even go ahead.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's okay to go and find out, what is ailing you, but we also have to employ uh, and still go back to the Most High and acknowledge Him in the midst of that, knowing that fully well that He's the one who heals us. He's the one who sustains our bodies, and He is the one who would give us. Um, he's the one who gives us the wisdom to know what we should be taking into our bodies, and especially if it comes from His own creation, and to make sure that we're employing those things as He gives us uh, information on how to do that, wisdom on how to do that, uh, so that we can heal. He's the one. He said he the one who said, all these things are healing for our bodies. He's given us
Mhm.
the food to be that for us. So we just have to know how to do that. We have to ask Him to give us wisdom to know what to do and how to do that.
Agreed. And that's why even when we look at the food that he says don't eat, we can't call it clean again. If y'all, I could see if y'all said, okay, I'm going to change the function. For example, shrimp. The function of
Hmm.
shrimp, bottom feeders, they're trash, they're garbage collectors, and they remove the trash and the garbage from the ocean floor. And
Right.
so, if oh, and catfish, ew, they're just ew. The stuff that they eat, everything that these animals eat, we're taking in. And
Yep.
so we have to be wise about why Yah said don't eat it, because he put those animals on this earth for a specific function. And that
Hmm.
function is goes against our bodies, and it causes damage to our bodies because it's taking in
Hmm.
garbage. So we're eating
Right.
everything. They're taking it now. Pam is plant based. I am not. I'm very wise with what I eat, and I try to do organic meats. And I don't, I do some plant based meals throughout the week. Pam don't play, and I know she's trying to pray me off of it.
No,
No, I know you're
no,
not.
no, no.
I know you're not.
To however the Most High leads people to consume their food, then praise Yah for that. I just
Yeah.
know what He's instructed me to do for my health and for what He's trying to heal in me. And so
Hmm.
this is why I do, or why I eat the way I eat.
Hmm.
Um, and so
But I mean,
all
I
this,
think we both agree we don't mess with dairy,
no.
and
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to cut back the sugars, y'all. I'm trying. That's the hardest thing. But we don't mess with dairy. There's just certain things that um, our bodies cannot break down. And I was watching a segment of that famous person. They might give me a knock for this, so I'm going to be careful. But that famous person from our community he passed away a few years ago, but he
Mm-hmm.
was saying that when we were on the continent, the colonizer brought foods over and they introduced them to us that our bodies could not identify with, and it caused sickness for us, like
Mm.
white starchy things. Our bodies do not body people can say, oh, we're all human, we're all the same. We're really not. Based on demographics, based on DNA, based on a lot of different things, our bodies they don't like certain things, and they weren't designed to house or process certain things. And so we have to get back to those things that our bodies connect with,
Mm-hmm.
especially things that are electric. And so I've learned a lot about it, and there's a lot of changes that I made and a lot that need to be made, but I am on the road to it, and I'm in a good place. But if I want to snack sometimes, I'm going to. Yes, I am. But and then exercise. We have to exercise, and we'll get into that. We'll get to that at another time. See, look, did you see what happened just now? You see how it's barely the vodka is like down here. Let me see if I can shake it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. It's here. But
Mm-hmm.
you see, so
It's just that the leaves are soaking it in.
yeah.
The there's a little bit of water in vodka, and it's just imbibing. It's going into the leaves, and what it's doing is just it's dissolving the oils in the leaves, and it'll just
Hmm.
come out in the alcohol. So that's how
Okay.
your tincture is being made. It's being removed from the
Okay.
leaves.
And so, and you don't have to overdo it with the vodka. I would say, like, let's say the leaves are up here. You go in 2 weeks later, and the vodka is down all the way down here, but you have all these leaves. I would say add more vodka. Do you agree or disagree? Okay.
Um, you can. The more you add, the less concentrated your tincture is gonna be. So
But you
I
don't want
think
to lose the liquid, right?
no, you won't necessarily lose the liquid because it's
Okay.
all contained. It's inside of the leaves. So
So, okay.
you can add more in there, but it'll also it won't be as concentrated. So I would go in and I would stir it really good, and then leave it. So it always, if you're gonna, two so it's usually of the um one part of the herbs to two parts of your solvent of your vodka, and you're good to go. The liquid's going to be there because you've got a cap on and it's not being evaporated off or anything.
Okay.
It's just soaking in to the leaves. And so
Mhm.
when you actually go to extract and you take it out, you're going to press all of that out anyway.
Right.
So whatever's in there is going to come out.
Okay. So so the way I learned it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that you should shake it more than opening and stirring it so that you don't air and
Okay,
things like that go in. How do you feel about that?
that's fine. That's totally fine.
It doesn't matter
So
one way or another.
no, and it again, these are these are things that you can easily. It's not as far as the concentration of it going down. We're not talking about huge fluctuations in concentration of
Hmm.
your final product. So if you're adding a little bit, it's one thing if you're dousing and you're adding a whole bunch of it on top of it. We're talking now probably maybe 1 or 2 ounces that you're adding on top of it. So that's not
Okay.
gonna like, seriously, you know,
Okay. And
um,
it's going to change the color of it too.
yeah, well, your
Extrapolate.
liquid's gonna be real, just gonna get dark, or it'll be the color of the leaves, or sometimes it'll get darker than that. So
Okay.
that's
All
the best
right.
thing.
I'm excited. This is our first one, our first tincture. And I mean, I would definitely encourage you all to try this for yourself. And we're going to do things on headaches and inflammation and brain health and memory. We're gonna touch on a lot of things. And so I'm grateful for everybody that joined me. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe. And thank you, Dr. Pam.
I'm a plant doctor,
Doesn't
not a
matter.
medical doctor.
Hold on. But you're in the witness chair
Hmm.
and you're still under oath. Are you or are you not a doctor?
I have a PhD in plant pathology, the study of plant diseases. So that's as far as it goes. So I know a lot about plants.
Right.
I
And
know
so,
a little bit about the human body because I had to take some of that stuff in order to do this, but I'm not a medical doctor.
hold on, honey. Nobody called you a medical doctor. Nobody. But I'll tell you what. If somebody called you Dr. Pam, would they be lying?
No, they would not.
Thank you. See, I'm gonna get my word, Pam. You know I am. You know how we roll. Sometimes you get yours, mostly I win. I'm just kidding. Pam wins too. She wins too. That's my boo. That's my best for it. So anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching. And I will put out I will put out I'll give you guys more notice next time for when we're gonna come on the live. Pam was on the phone with me the whole time. I had a whole lot of crazy going on after my shift was over. And so it kind of hindered me from getting home on time and getting more prepared. So I promise you I'll be more prepared. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. And make sure that you take control of your health, do your research, and make sure you invite somebody next time. Love you all and shalom.